What's up, everybody? Today's video, man, I want to kind of deep dive into the thought process of me choosing to do Amazon FBA. And just, I guess I've gotten a few questions regarding like why Amazon FBA, why I choose to do that. And also, before I start, I'm trying a new camera angle, man. I'm putting my camera right above my computer. I usually have it on the side, so if you see me looking down, I'm just looking at my computer. But back to the topic, man. It's like a lot of questions come through from colleagues, people I know, things like that. Like, hey, why did you choose Amazon FBA, or just why choose Amazon, or why choose e-commerce structured business as a whole? Um, and for some time, man, for some years, no matter what I've been doing, no matter where I've been, I've always had this idea of, man, just making money remote, right? I think that idea is pretty dope to me as far as like being able to wake up one day and see that I made 10 grand from my iPhone. Like, I think that vision in my head is kind of constant. I've always visioned that, and that's the thought that I have behind this. Outside of that, man, is just wanting to achieve more. I try to think from a micro level and a macro level. So in the micro, which is just kind of like my internal thoughts, visions for self. I think about like number one, I want to try to at least match my 9 to 5 income. That's the first thing I want to try to do. Is like, hey, can this thing potentially match my 9 to 5 income? Can this thing just kind of put me in a position to where it's like I'm not. I want to say I'm financially free, because when I think of financially free, I think of someone who's making the 1% of America's income, which is 1% of America, I believe, is 400,000 or more. So of course, I would like to get there, but it's like, hey, can this potentially just match my 9 to 5 income to where I have double the income, and now I can just double down on things I want to do, whether it's investing, traveling, and just kind of living the lifestyle that I want to live. I want to be able to travel. I want to be able to go places. I don't want to always be stuck. I like the idea of being able to invest. I like the idea of just having excess capital to just go on offense, man. I feel like a lot of times what I've seen previously in my life is a lot of people play defense, man. A lot of people are always so worried about money. I've never been on the end of the spectrum where money isn't the problem. A lot of times you need money to eat. You need, bills are coming up. You're behind on this. You're behind on that. Credit. All these things play a huge factor in the spectrum of life that I've been on the side of. I've seen that money has been a detrimental factor in life, and I want to be on the side of that spectrum where money is money is, I want to say ever flowing, but an abundance mindset when it comes to money, and that's kind of what I want to create. And this is on a micro level, which is just my internal thoughts. Macro, I think about just why I'm doing this on the grand scheme of things is, of course, my mom, being able to assist her, being able to help her. I think that'll be dope, man. I think allowing her to have some freedom within her life. Like I said, things that I've seen, money has been the factor that's changed. That's been constant of a not from always a detrimental standpoint, but just bills are due. You have food, family. You got to take care of this, got to take care of that. And it's like, man, a lot of how does life feel without having to worry about that? How does life feel waking up, man, and bills are taken care of, everything's on auto pay, or this is just my vision. Like auto pay, I don't think about the bills. I can travel, living an abundance mindset, man. I have what I need. I'm not in need for anything, and just being able to shift from that scarcity mindset to an abundance mindset, a growth mindset. That's something that I really want. With Amazon FBA, I think that this thing can work, man. I think that I had to kind of shift my thought, right? Because I feel like a lot of times when people first start, they feel like, oh, I want to make $1 million from this, or I want to get rich overnight. I understand that this thing is not going to make me rich overnight, but I also understand that you get out what you put in. And I'm 24 now, man. Starting from 18, I think the biggest, not regret, but the biggest thing that I've learned along my journey when it comes to trying different businesses, different industries, being in different industries, is consistency. I feel like a lot of people, when you don't see, and I've been guilty of it too, when you don't see results for the first 3 weeks, first month, 2 months, it's like we tend to give up. It's like, oh, it's not working. And I think, kind of just growing older. I guess I'm 24. I'm not that old. I'll be 25 in a couple of days actually, but being 24, 25, one thing that I've learned outside of consistency is that you got to give things time, man. You can't, you can't judge. Like if this thing that goes bad for 2 months, it's 12 months in a year. Like those 2 months of it going bad might cause someone to quit. But what if those 2 months you collected so much data from failing, from orders, from knowing what sells, from learning about your account, and then all of a sudden you have 10 good months. It's like you at least have to give this thing time to churn, to produce data points, for you to correct mistakes, for you to correct your learning experiences, and then see what happens. And even when I was like 18, 19, man, and like I told you guys, if you guys watch my first video, I definitely recommend just kind of watching that. I do give like a short summary or intro of who I am. But like when I was 18, man, I started off trying this, man. I tried wholesale, I tried private label. And the difference between now and when I was 18, 19, of course, is the financial stability that I have to be able to. And I'm not saying I'm rich by no means. I'm not anywhere, any shape or form rich or have an abundance of money or cash flow, but I'm in a better position and I'm in a more stable position than I was when I first started. What that allows to happen now is because I'm more stable and because I have that income piece to allow me to have the mindset to say, hey, I'm going to try to, be consistent and see this thing through. And I think that's the only difference between me being 18 and thinking about this and me being 24. Of course, the time in between, life has took its course. I've been able to try different things. I've always had a job surrounded around sales. So I've been able to kind of see results at a job saying, hey, man, this is our sales forecast for the next year. We've been consistent. We've tried this. We've done this. Hey, these are the results. And then as I got older, as I seen, have an income now it's like, okay, I have to apply those same principles that I've learned from my 9 to 5 here by myself into my own business. Same thing. Hey, things are, of course you have goals, right? You have, in sales, you may have a budget goal saying, hey, our budgeted goal is this, right? Our stretch goal is this. Based on the previous data from the previous 6 months, we've typically trended here. Based on that trend, we've been able to look here and say, hey, these are the mistakes we're making. These are things we need to tighten up on. These are the factors that played a part into this. And then this is how we should, go forward. All that is based on data. But if you're like me, you never allow yourself to have that mindset to think about the data because we quit too soon. I quit too soon. When I was 18, I tried private label. Quit, man. I was like, I'm glad I actually quit that part about it because I don't think private label was for me. Now just me thinking back about it, but I tried private label probably for 2 months. Took them, and of course, and another thing that caused me to do that is I didn't have the correct mindset as far as when money comes in, where does this money go, right? It's like, hey, this money comes in. When it comes to private label, you have ad spend, right? You have manufacturer costs, you have shipping costs, all these things. Hey, pay these things off so that way you can go another go round and that way you can collect more data and go forward and be more successful. But once again, I'm glad private label did not work because I don't see myself in the private label space. Secondly, I even tried wholesale. Wholesale is a very good model. I tried that, but I wasn't consistent, right? I took the money, did the wrong things with it. Then life played its course, and I had to go veer off and find myself, right? Try different jobs. Once again, like I said, now that I have that income, I have what? I have that stability piece. So you have to have that stability piece. In order to be able to do this. I see a lot of different times people say, "Hey, man, like I got $500 to my name. What should I do?" It's like, man, you should, keep working, keep saving. You need stability. You spend your last 500 to your name on this. You're banking on this, brother. What if you save that 500 and, invest it in yourself, credit, things like that, allow yourself to buy some courses, learn, experience, and then try this, right? So it's like the income piece is very important because now I'm able to have this ability, and things like that. So On a micro scale, man, why Amazon FBA? I know I'm kind of rattling off here. A lot of times, man, I don't have a script when it comes to these videos. I just kind of go off my mind. That way, it's more genuine. It's more my thoughts. I don't want to have to write something down and always reference back to it. I feel like I'm going to be more focused on making sure I'm doing that. But just on a genuine piece, man, why Amazon FBA is because like I feel like I can do it. I feel like um, why not? Why not me? That's what I feel like. I feel like, man, I'm not far off the spectrum when it comes to like internal thoughts or being able to say like, hey, I can do this. Like there's no difference between me and someone that's very successful at this. It's just the experiences and the knowledge they have, that knowledge barrier. But that knowledge barrier comes from data and experience and mistakes. So it's like I want to wake up one day, man, and see myself making 5, 10 grand. I think that'd be dope on my phone. Of course I got my job and whatnot, but it's like, what if I can make 5, 10 grand from my phone one month, man? That's dope. What if I had an extra 5, 10 grand coming in every month consistently, and then I can reinvest that, or I can take $1,000 out, pay myself, keep 4,000 back into the business, and keep going. It's like that'd be a great feeling for me, and of course from that point growing. Secondly, like it'll feel good to be able to take care of my mom every month, as far have a business that can contribute to her life. As far as maybe taking care of her bills, or something as simple as paying the mortgage. It's like, what if I can do that every month for my mom? Now all of a sudden she doesn't have to have that scarcity mindset and be worried about next month the bills. You're able to think more logically when you're not at a scarcity. When you're not within a scarcity mindset, you're able to sit back and honestly analyze. When you worried about me myself, just from my experience, I know when you're always worried about a bill, or you're in a rat race of worrying about bills and I gotta pay this, I gotta pay that. You never have time to truly enjoy life. It's like, man, I'm waking up, I'm going to work, and now I gotta pay this, I gotta pay that, I gotta do. You're never sitting back and you're like, like okay, I'm fine. What can I do? And then once you get to that point, now you can become creative. Now you can really dial into who you are and say, I like this. Let's try this out. Oh, that didn't work. Let me try this out. So I think both of those play a factor into like why Amazon FBA. I think this is I don't know what happened 5 years from now. I don't know what happened a year from today, but I do know right now in this moment in time, the idea that I can potentially leverage my credit and my personal income to compound rather quickly. I think that's dope. It's like, what if you can spend 5,000 and turn it twice in a month at a 30% ROI and turn a thing into 7,000 in 30 days without touching it? It's like, oh, that makes sense. Okay, I like that idea, and that's what it is for me, man. It's in the biggest thing, and to end this video off, the biggest challenge for me is, the biggest thought of why doing this for me is to challenge myself internally. Because on one end of the spectrum, I think I'm going to fail. But on one end of the spectrum, I think I might succeed. And I don't know. And I think that's what's driving me. Like, it's like, I don't know. But I do know that if I'm consistent and disciplined within my daily routines and habits to make sure I implement this into my daily routine, I can live with the results. I can live with failing or succeeding. I can live with both of them as long as I make sure I'm diligent in my routine and my process. And that's kind of like where I'm at, man. It's like outside of personal thoughts, outside of family thoughts, it starts for me. It's like, Charles, can you do this? Can you be disciplined enough to really try this out and see if it works? Because at the end of the day, man, if you try hard enough, not hard, but if you're smart about it and you apply yourself day in and day out, man, good things typically always tend to happen. Whether you be working out, whether you want to be a marathon runner, or you jog every day, you hoop every day, you play chess every day, you go to work every day. And one of my biggest thoughts is like, man, I go to work every day, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. So I can give my all and I can be disciplined and diligent in doing that, but I can't be disciplined and diligent. I can give them 8 hours a day, but I can't give myself 2 hours a day to see if this will work. And in that 3 hours a day, you can't do that, Charles. That's the internal battle that I fight, that I'm trying, that's driving me to try this and driving me to continue after all this time, years that went by, failing and different things like that. That's the internal factor that plays the part into me doing this. Outside of the money, outside of the vision as far as what could be, it starts with me just being scared, honestly. Like, man, I don't know what's gonna happen, man. I don't know how this is gonna go, but I'm down to try. That's it for this video, man. I want to just kind of, I've gotten a few questions as far as like why Amazon, why have you chose to do that? That's kind of like the reasoning behind it. Stay tuned, man. I got more videos coming out. A lot of things have been transpiring when it comes to the business. In my first 30 days, man, my first month in, a lot of things have been transpiring. Definitely take a look at my few videos that's coming out. I definitely would appreciate any subscriptions, man. Shoot me some messages if you have it. Like the video, subscribe, man. I'll see you guys soon. But that's my reasoning behind wanting to do Amazon FBA. See you.